On the warrants, so it's been a favorite topic of mine, warrants. And you talk about the building warrants and the RGP and the contingency. You show your 279 in there for the prioritized list items. But usually we get a backup to it. We see what it's going to be spent for, so when the bill comes over, the finance department can tie that bill into that particular item. And if we're talking about the RGB, when Mr. Hughes was here, he said that the contingencies of his work, the project that went up to the state, the 5 areas, that the contingency was built into those figures. So is that 50 contingency built into that? What the figures came from?
Our contingency is a little different than his, I guess. It's still the same idea. It's something that you don't know about. But we put the plans in. And I will tell you, we have noticed, in fact, Don Davidson mentioned it this week, that we're using their numbers, and they are coming in a little less because we probably don't have some of that stuff built in. But our contingency is for something that might break, if a boiler would break in the wintertime and we had to fix it. We're not planning to do that, but it's for an unforeseen expense. Thank you very much, Mr. Fox. So it's not. It's the same idea. It's something that you don't know what's going on, but you know something's going to happen. And we have several projects planned, but we don't have money in our operating budget to fix a major boiler break or some kind of heating system break, for example.
How difficult would it be for you to break down that 279 into exactly what you're going to use it for?
Actually, we can provide that, no problem.
Thank you. And on the technology, I noticed that it's textbooks, 39,000, and then also in your regular budget, line item 56501, you have another 60,000 for textbooks. So I'm just wondering, what's the total for textbooks? And
I will not use the microphone. The textbooks and library books that are in this year's warrant, the 39,596, are the textbook portion is new textbook adoption. So if we buy, because what the auditor said was, if we bought a brand new series of math books, for example, that could be put in the warrant. However, replacement texts could not. So this year, actually, of the 39,000 plus, I believe about 30,000 is actually for the library books. So we have very little in the warrant for actual textbooks above and beyond the library. And then what's in the budget, the operating budget, is for those replacement texts.
And the technology hardware, Mr. Dunn, I think you mentioned laptops, buying laptops. How many laptops are you going to buy? And are they for the students or for the teachers? Or
hang on 1 second.
What do they cost out of that total?
It's approximately 50 laptops, and actually it's part of the strategic plan and it's part of our hardware replacement plan. Instead of going to stations in the middle school, it's at the middle school level, what we're going to do instead is provide laptops. That will be more cost efficient. We'll be able to transfer those more. Teachers will be able to use them more. So that's the way we're going. Depends upon the cost.
And that'll be for the individual teacher, the laptop?
It will be in the individual teacher's room, yes.
Thank you. That's all I have right now. If any other questions from the council?
I have a quick question, Mr. President. For David, when Bob was going over the numbers, there's been a lot of numbers, a lot of information given tonight. The number I'm really concentrating on is the schools are asking for a $1.2 million increase in appropriations from the town. With what's happening in the state reduction with the town of Portsmouth, wouldn't that actually be over the tax cap if we funded the full amount?
Yes, due to loss of revenues from the state, we'd have to go above the cap to fund the school and the town budgets.
Okay. Thank you.
And what was that? Oh, we can't tell.
Here.
And what would that, we don't know what that'd be in the tax increase. We don't know what the tax increase would be because we don't really have any figures yet.
Well, Mr. Driscoll gave that, actually. It would be...
1.1 million?
You want the
1.2?
dollar figure or the percentage?
You're looking at a 7.6% tax increase, is that about right?
No, it would be, the tax increase,
The effective increase would be 5%,
a
right?
little over 5%.
Oh,
Because again, we have 2.6% growth.
And Dave, how confident, seriously, are you about a 2.6% increase in growth in this town? 1 out of 10. 10 being you're very confident.
Well, it's really a question for the assessor, but I would say 5. Because there may be some change in it. I talked to him today, and he's looking at some numbers. So that number's not fixed. It's not a certified tax roll, so...
No.
But that's the number he's projecting right now is 2.6. It might go down somewhat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. On the employee benefits, that's always a cost driver. I would recommend you go talk to the fire department. Okay, I don't know whether you've got contractual hurdles or what, but those guys are coming up with some pretty innovative approaches to healthcare and how you pay for it, and it appears to be attractive to the personnel. You ought to have a look at that because it is a different approach. I don't know whether it will fit, but you should at least be in a position to say we looked and it either works or it doesn't, because there could be significant savings in there for you. The 13% increase in water rates, I don't know how much money that really equates to, but this is the first I've heard of a rate increase like that. Is that Newport?
Well, what we budgeted is the increase in fire hydrant rental, not actual water use.
Yeah.
I don't have the information on water use. They certainly use more than we do.
If I could add, there is a request by Newport Water to do that increase, and it has to go to the PUC. So we're budgeting a big increase potentially too. It's not a whole lot of dollars, but a potentially percentage increase that's high. Don't know if the PUC will approve it. That's just Newport's request.
Okay.
But
And
if you do remember, Newport does need to redo the Lawton Valley plant. That's an $87 million project, so
right.
this isn't a volatile area.
What's it going to cost us to maintain the empty building when they move out of Elmhurst?
Well, actually, I was going to ask them some questions on that. So, I think can I just, do you plan to surplus Elmhurst?
Yes.
And do you plan to do any kind of closure work in the building before you surplus it, or are you just going to hand over the keys?
We are investigating the cost to like drain all the water out of it. We are planning to do that. We are getting costs.
You're going to leave the playground equipment behind?
I believe we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, actually.
We'll have to work then. I mean, obviously, the immediate expense will be avoided, which is good.
The immediate expense, sorry, what?
Draining the water
Oh,
lines and
okay.
things like that. That's